Hey guys, this video is on the Great Depression vocab words, numbers 11 through 15. These are the ones we're going to be going over today in class if you missed it. So pretty much all these words are about the New Deal. Four of the five are all about the New Deal. The New Deal was like the group of programs that President Roosevelt, FDR, created to try to deal with the Great Depression. Remember that he had gathered a group called the Brain Trust together, which were like a group of advisors to help him try to figure out how he should deal with the problems in the economy. So the New Deal was the programs that he came up with. So it was the group of programs. So it stimulated the economy to grow primarily by providing jobs, gave direct aid to people, like gave them money directly so that they would spend it, social programs to help people who were in need, and economic change, economic reform. So that means like laws about what's allowed in the economy. That means laws on banks and changes in how our economy and the banking system works. Some people really criticized the New Deal. In fact, a lot of people criticized the New Deal because they felt that it gave the government too much power. In fact, up until this point, the government really did not get too involved in the economy. It didn't take a lot of responsibility for making sure that people were taken care of. People believed that was mostly the job of other people or of private businesses. And that's still kind of a Republican idea today. So FDR, if you can recall, was a Democrat, and that's really important. The Tennessee Valley Authority was one of the New Deal programs. And remember, to have a healthy economy, you just need money being spent in the economy. And so what the Tennessee Valley Authority did was the government provided money to build dams along the Tennessee River for flood control, and also provided hydroelectric power to places who they had never had electricity before. Tennessee at the time was very underdeveloped and poor, and this was providing for them directly. So it benefited the economy in two ways. Well, three ways, actually. It spent money. Just building a dam costs money, so it forced money to be spent in the economy. It also gave poor people something they need. And then thirdly, it also gave people jobs, people that were involved in building the dam and running the power plants. It gave them jobs. Like I said, not everybody was a fan of FDR or of the New Deal, especially Republicans or people. So there's kind of two sides of people that didn't like FDR. There was like extreme Republicans, sort of like Hoover. And then there were people who were more socialist, and they thought that the New Deal didn't do enough. Huey Long was a Louisiana senator who was against the New Deal, and he was more of the side of like socialist. He thought the New Deal and FDR did not do enough. So he wanted to actually create a share our wealth program, is what he called it, where every family received at least $2,500 a year by giving higher taxes to the rich. This is socialism exactly. Socialism is like when someone wants to seek to bring equality to everyone, sort of from taking from those who have and giving it to the people who don't have, to socially take care of each other. He thought that everybody should have a home, a car, a radio, and basic necessities in life. He was assassinated in 1935, so that kind of made him stop talking against FDR. FDR didn't have him assassinated. He just was assassinated because his ideas were very extreme. He was a really convincing speaker, so he actually got a lot of followers. If we were to find like a modern day comparison, maybe like Bernie Sanders would be a similar way of believing. The New Deal, so now we're back to the New Deal, also created the Works Progress Administration and the Social Security Act. The WPA was one of the most popular New Deal programs. It literally hired tons of people, including women, minorities, kids, even. And the government hired a bunch of Americans to build hospitals, parks, roads, and schools. Like I said, in our economy, it doesn't matter what we're actually spending money on as long as we're spending money. So, as the government provided those jobs, even like temporary jobs, it helped stimulate the economy because it put money in the hands of Americans. So, when one group of workers has money, they spend their money, and when they spend their money, it gives jobs to other people who will then in turn spend their money. So that's what it takes to have a healthy economy, people spending and making and spending and making money. And one of the long-lasting effects of the New Deal was the Social Security Act. It was a program that was designed to help older people, children, and people with disabilities. So it was more of an insurance, like a social insurance. There's been a lot of talk that Social Security is going to end. Like my dad always would tell me that Social Security is not going to be around for very much longer. I shouldn't have to pay for it. But it's still around, it's still working. So we'll see how long that lasts. It was the first social program where the government directly cared for people. And the idea was that it would provide care for people who were unable physically somehow to maintain themselves independently through no fault of their own. So these aren't people who are like unemployed, but these are people who physically could not work. So those are the vocab words for today.